Yeah. Ooh. Alright, talk about the same shit, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Water. I didn't know I could hop on. Yep. Alrighty. BigBootyButtCheeks.com/. What's up, Fetty? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's going on? How are you, Butterfly Wings? Great to see you. What's up, yeah? What's going on, yeah? Big yeah. Yeah. How's everybody? I didn't know I can get on. Okay, hold on. I'm watching some big booty goddesses. Hold on real quick. Oh, that's nice. I'm chilling right now. I'm great. How you doing? It's great to see everybody. Do. What's up? Your Telegram is very useful. I know. It helps me too, because it's a lot of information on there that'll wake you up, but you also get to see some stuff that used to be from my other profiles. If you go to my Telegram, it's great. It's a great resource. I'm gonna hop on my Telegram. I'm gonna show y'all some stuff. It's great to see everybody. I'm just getting ready. Okay, hold on just a second, y'all. So funny. 1 second. Ooh-wee. Hold on just a second. 1 second. How's everybody? What y'all up to? What y'all doing right now? Hold on. What y'all up to? What y'all been up to today? What y'all got going on? What's the plan? What y'all got going? You at work? Yeah. I'm gonna be at work soon too. Let me get comfortable. It's gonna be time for a retwist soon. Alright, perfect. Hold on, y'all. Alright. So, alright, we're gonna hop on my Telegram. I'm gonna show you some stuff. Okay. Y'all got anything y'all want to talk about? You got anything on your mind? I usually do the talking, but I want to talk to y'all. Y'all got anything y'all want to talk about? What's to come next? Well, we're in the process of hitting our creation point, creating what we want to create in a reality. So right now, watching what you take in. Honestly, I see stuff about Trump and Elon and all that stuff. Just focusing on what you can control, putting the other shit to the side, reaching the next level so we can get to what we're supposed to. There's a lot of changes in the world, and there's a lot of changes in America A lot of beings about to get evicted from Earth on the cool. And I see why. We're going to the next wave. I'm getting ready for the next. All this other stuff they doing is just to get you distracted from looking inside yourself. And a lot of stuff I'm turning off. There's a lot of stuff I'm just turning off. There's certain topics I don't even care about no more. Like the, censorship and all that shit, turning that off. I realize your thoughts carry a lot of weight. So coming back from some places and getting rid of stuff, that's the key. Just elevating the mind. This is a place of willpower. A big place of willpower and learning how to use your creation energy for what you want. I'm tired of creating a reality over and over again. So create a reality you want to see. Create frequency and timelines, pretty much. A lot of people you see people on different timelines. There's a book called Becoming Supernatural. Hold on. Let me get that book. Hold on. There's a book called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, which is a really good book. Alright. Okay. The Present Moment, Chapter 2. We're going to do a little reading today. Chapter 2. Page 27. Okay. The present moment. We're going to do a little reading from Becoming Supernatural. This is chapter 2. If you want to experience the supernatural in your own life by healing your body, creating new opportunities you could never have imagined before, and having transcendent mystical experiences, you first need to master the concept of the present moment, the eternal now. There's a lot of talk about being present or being in the now these days. While most people understand the basics of what that means, not to think about the future or live in the past, I want to offer you a completely different understanding of the concept. It's going to require that you get beyond the physical world, including your body, your identity, and your environment, and even beyond time itself. This is where you turn possibility into reality. After all, if you don't get beyond who you think you are and the way you've been conditioned to believe the world works, it's not possible to create a new life or a new destiny. So in a very real sense, you have to get out of your own way. Transcend the memory of yourself as an identity and allow something greater than you, something mystical, to take over. First, let's take a look at how the brain functions, okay? When any neurological tissue in the brain or the body is activated, it creates mind. Consequently, from a neuroscientific understanding, mind is the brain in action. So mind is the brain in action, okay? For instance, you have a specific mind to drive your car. You have another mind to take a shower. You have a different mind when you sing a song or listen to music. You use a specific level of mind to execute each of those complex functions because you've probably done each of these tasks thousands of times. So your brain turns on in a very specific way whenever you do any of them. This is from Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. When your brain is in action as you drive your car, for example, you are in fact turning on a specific sequence, pattern, and combination of neurological networks. Those neural networks, or neural nets, are simply clusters of neurons that work together as a community, just like an automatic software program or a macro, because you've done that particular action so many times. In other words, the neurons that fire together to accomplish the task become more wired together. As you consciously choose to perform the task of driving your vehicle, we could say that you are automatically selecting and instructing those neurons in your brain to turn on to create a level of mind. Okay? For the most part, your brain is a product of the past. It has been shaped and molded to become a living record of everything you have learned and experienced up to this point in your life. Learning, from a neuroscientific standpoint, is when neurons in your brain assemble to form thousands of synaptic connections, and those connections then assemble into complex, three-dimensional neurological networks. Think of learning as your brain getting an upgrade. When you pay attention to knowledge or information and it makes sense to you, this interaction with the environment leaves biological impressions in your brain. Okay? When you experience something new, your senses write the story neurologically in your brain, and even more neurons come together to make even more enriched connections, upgrading your brain even further. Experiences not only enhance the brain circuitry, but they also create emotions. Think of emotions as the chemical residue from the past experiences of chemical feedback. The stronger the emotional quotient from an event in your life, the more the experience leaves a lasting impression in your brain. That's how long-term memories are formed. So if learning means making new connections in your brain, memories are when you maintain those connections. The more you repeat a thought, choice, behavior, experience, or emotion, the more those neurons fire and wire together, and the more they will sustain a long-term relationship. In Anna's story in the previous chapter, you learn most of your experiences come from your interaction with your external environment. Now like a memory file in a cabinet, basically. So what you're experiencing right now is a memory file. This whole life you're living is a file in your memory cabinet for your higher self. Your current physical body, your physical environment, everything that you are doing is a memory, like I was telling people. Okay? Since your senses plug you into the external environment and neurologically record the narrative in your brain, when you experience a highly charged emotional event, bad or good, that moment becomes embossed neurologically in your brain as a memory. Therefore, when an experience changes how you normally feel chemically and heightens your attention to what caused it, you will associate a specific person or thing with where your body is at a particular time and place. That's how you create memories by interacting with the outer world. It's safe to say that the only place the past actually exists is in your brain and in your body. So I'll repeat that. The only place the past actually exists is in your brain and in your body. How your past becomes your future. This is from Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. I'm on page 29. If you haven't read this book will help you drastically. Drastically. This book has helped me a lot already. I'm glad I'm rereading this with y'all. Okay? So this next passage says how your past becomes your future. Okay? Let's take a closer look at what happens biochemically inside your body when you think a thought or feel an emotion. When you think a thought or have a memory, a biochemical reaction begins in your brain, causing the brain to release certain chemical signals. That's how immaterial thoughts literally become matter. They become chemical messengers. These chemical signals make your body feel exactly the way you were just thinking. Once you notice you are feeling a particular way, then you generate more thoughts equal to how you're feeling, and then you release more chemicals from your brain to make you feel the way you've been thinking, right? So the chemicals are released by how your thoughts are. That's how people get stuck. It's thinking in the same chemical patterns. The same chemicals are released over and over and over again. I got caught in that process too. For example, if you have a fearful thought, you start to feel fear. The moment you feel fear, that emotion influences you to think more fearful thoughts, and those thoughts trigger the release of even more chemicals in the brain and body that make you continue to feel more fear. The next thing you know, you get caught in a loop where your thinking creates feeling and your feeling creates thinking. If thoughts are the vocabulary of the brain and feelings are the vocabulary of the body, and the cycle of how you think and feel becomes your state of being, then your entire state of being is in the past. Wow. That makes so much sense. When you fire and wire the same circuits in your brain over and over again because you keep thinking the same thoughts, you are hardwiring your brain into the same patterns. As a result, your brain becomes an artifact of your past thinking, and in time it becomes easier to automatically think in the same ways, setting yourself up to be in a loop, basically. At the same time, as you repeatedly feel the same emotions over and over again, since, as I just said, emotions are the vocabulary of the body and the chemical residue of past experiences, you are conditioning your body into the past. And now we're at a pivotal point where you can decide and choose what you want to do. We have the option of creation. So to create new patterns so we don't wind up doing the same stuff. And that's where a lot of us are. So now let's look at what it means for you on a day-to-day basis. Get some notes. If you need to take some notes, get your pen and paper. I'll wait for you for a few minutes. Get your pen and paper, get your notepad or your notebook out. This next passage is pretty important. The next two passages. So just, if you have notes, I might underline and highlight in this book on the cool. Okay, so here, I'll wait a few minutes. So right now we're talking about being in the present moment and utilizing our creation power and our thoughts in order not to repeat the same sequences, not to have the same thought process. So it allows us to create new neural networks in our brain so that we can establish new patterns and habits. I'm just talking to you right now. So one of the biggest things about this realm or this place is willpower. It's willpower. That's one of the biggest things. Where are you putting your willpower? Your real body is sitting somewhere meditating, or you're in another place, right? You're in multiple places, and you're deciding where you want to carry your current right now. Your current C is where your current awareness is. And there's multiple versions of you out there in the cosmos. And you could decide what version of you want to be. As we get into our normal habits and our day-to-day, it's easy to get into a routine of a being we don't want to be. That's what's so important about this chapter. It allows us to look at what's happening in the now, use the past as a bookmark or a reference, and then change our future to a different way. We have infinite possibilities for each of us, right? There's infinite possibilities. And right now what we're doing is staying in the present so that we can elevate ourselves, okay? So I'm gonna start reading now. Given what you have just learned about feelings and emotions. Hold on, let me make you a moderator. Knowledge. You're already here. Let me make you a moderator. Perfect. Queen Jayla. Let me see. I don't know if you want to be a moderator. Just let me know. Okay. Given what you just learned about feelings and emotions being the chemical end products of past events, the moment you wake up in the morning or rising and search for the familiar feeling called you are starting your day in the past. All right, I'll make you a moderator too. So every time you wake up or you rise, you can start the day in the you. Gratitude, Queen. I just made you a moderator. So I'll read that again. Right? The moment you wake up in the rising and search for the familiar feeling called you are starting your day in the past. So when you start to think about your problems, those problems which are connected to the memories of past experiences of different people or things at certain times and places, create familiar feelings such as unhappiness, futility, sadness, pain, grief, anxiety, worry, frustration, unworthiness, or guilt. Okay? If those emotions are if those emotions are driving your thoughts and you cannot think greater than how you feel, then you are also thinking in the past. Okay? Let me repeat that. If those emotions are driving your thoughts and you cannot think greater than how you feel, then you are also thinking in the past. So we decided to be a new person every day, basically. Since every day is the same day, we use Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as a quantitative measure in the physical body. But as you get into your more godlike or your crystalline-like thinking, right? The only thing that changes is the choices you make throughout the day. And those choices are wavelengths or light choices. So think of them as light wavelength choices on a tree branch, right? So when you look at a tree, there's a bunch of branches, but they're all connected to the same tree. When you rise, you can choose to be on the same branch, but you also have the option to choose another branch, or you can stay on the same branch and choose another path on the branch. You get what I'm saying? So all those micro choices you make throughout the day, that's what really changes the future, because there's infinite versions of your future self, but the choices you make today are the ones that influence what happens for your tomorrow, if that makes sense. Tomorrow doesn't exist either, but the choices you make today influences those. Does that make sense? Okay. And if those familiar emotions influence the choices you're going to make that day, the behaviors you're going to exhibit, or the experiences you're going to create for yourself, then you're going to appear predictable, and your life is going to stay the same. That's a super important portion about this, right? We have our emotional outbursts, and we're supposed to feel in the moment whatever it is. So if you angry right now, if you sad, if you feel guilt, unworthiness, you're supposed to feel that, but you're not supposed to dwell on it. It's just a moment, and in this essence, this energy, just like waves in the ocean, they cascade, and they cascade, come back, and you're learning how to maintain throughout whatever your emotion is. So you are allowed to be angry, you're allowed to be sad, you're allowed to experience joy, you're allowed to love, you're allowed to let go of people, places, environments, and things. You're allowed to do that. You know, if somebody say, well, like for a dude, if they say you can't be in your emotions, you're supposed to feel your emotions, even if it's by yourself. You feel those emotions, and you use them as a way to transmute into something you want to do. Okay? Now, we're going to the next passage, okay? Gratitude, Kurt. Now, let's say after you wake up, you turn off your alarm, and as you lie there in bed, you check your Facebook, your Instagram, your WhatsApp, your Twitter, your TikTok, your texts, your emails, and then the news. Now you are really remembering who you are as you reaffirm your personality and connect to your past, present, personal reality. Then you go to the bathroom. You use the toilet, brush your teeth, take a shower, get dressed, and then head for the kitchen. You drink some coffee, eat breakfast, maybe you watch the news or check your email again. It's the same routine you follow every day. Then you drive to work using the same old route. And when you get there, you interact with the same coworkers you saw the day before. You spend your day performing pretty much the same duties you performed yesterday. You might even react to the same challenges at work with the same emotions. Then after work, you drive home. Maybe you stop at the same grocery store and buy the food you like and always eat. You cook the same food for dinner and watch the same television show at the same time while sitting in the same place in your living room. It's like putting yourself in a hamster wheel, like Queen Jayla said. Then you get ready for bed in the same way you always do. You brush your teeth with your right hand starting from the upper right side of your mouth. You crawl into the same side of bed. Maybe you read a little and then you go to sleep. That's a hamster wheel. So what this passage is really explaining is like our basic routine and habits that we do. After doing them for so long, it becomes autonomous. We start becoming like AI, conscious AI, but we're living a routine. That 9 to 5 work schedule is the conscious, it's like a construct to keep us in the robot mode, basically. Right? So every day you should do something in a way that triggers your neural synapses to reprogram. So instead of, let's say you get up and you click your alarm, right? After you click your alarm, stretch, right? For an example, right? Say what you're grateful for as soon as you get up. I love this. I love this life. I'm grateful for another day for creation. You get what I'm saying? To be able to create. You just switch it up a little bit every day. You don't have to do super drastic changes to your routine at first because it's just little bitty changes per day. The Japanese have a concept called Kaizen, which means 1% a day. Whatever you're doing, just do 1% towards what you want to achieve. And in 99 days, you have done 100% of what you wanted to do. So, you know how most people say, I got to clean my house today, right? Instead of cleaning your whole house in one day, do a little bit each day. So for today's cleaning, I'm going to clean my living room. That's what we're focusing on. You go on what you need to focus on the most, and I get it now. You take little portions, right? So let's say you do the living room on Monday. You say, I'm going to do my bedroom Tuesday. I'm going to do my bathroom Wednesday. I'll do my car Thursday. You get what I'm saying? You're just using those as mediums to do 1% a day. And by the end of the week, you have everything clean, you have everything organized, because we live in a rushed society where we have, with short attention spans, we have to do everything quick. We got to be like, and this is showing that slow and steady, whether you believe in it or not, influences our day-to-day actions. That slow and steady is the present moment in the current details of life. So the reason why this is important is this allows you to analyze what you do every day. I tell people, get you a little notebook like this. Get you a little bitty notebook or a notebook. Give yourself 5 tasks to do for yourself. That's it. 5 important tasks. You can do 1 for self-improvement, 1 towards the house. You know what I'm saying? 1 towards health, if you want to do health well. I'm not going to eat this today. Boom. That's all you got to do. If you do those 5 things every day, by the end of what we call the week, you'll already have 35 things done. If you work off a 7-day period, you'll have 35 tasks done every week just by doing 5 things a day. So when you're in the process of changing a habit or a routine, you know how people go to the gym at the beginning of the year and then it start to wear down towards the end of the month, beginning of February, people start to trim. Well, the gym wasn't what I thought it was. It wasn't the gym. You had the excitement to do it, but when you saw what it took to do it, you were like, nah, not everybody want to do the gym, right? So instead of doing the gym, you find something you like to do. So like me, I don't like the gym personally. I know it's good for you. This is Joe Dispenza, Becoming Supernatural. Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispenza. This is a really good book. So I don't like the gym. So I find other activities. I like to do Tai Chi. I like to do Qigong. I like to do a little bit of yoga. That's my activity that I like to do. Will I be super swole? No. It's okay. Right? But I'll have a mobile body. I'll be able to move until I'm 90, 80 years old. I can still do this exercise. You get what I'm saying? You find stuff you like to do. Because that, if you like it, it'll make it easier to stay in the routine. And a lot of us, we get caught in our routines because it's easier to be in that routine than to add something new or to take something away. And we're ever growing and evolving. So don't think I got it all together all the time. I'll be having some days where it's like, fuck it, I'm finna sit down and veg out on this motherfucking couch. There's some days I'm like that too. I don't feel like doing nothing today. Then I don't do it. I listen to myself. You get what I'm saying? But, you know, there's a difference between being lazy and not. It doesn't bring drive to you to want to do it. There's a difference. Some of the laziness is telling your body and your mind that it's not something you're really interested in. And that's okay. Sometimes you have passion for something for a short period of time. It'll be like, I have a passion to do this, and then it'll fade off for a while. And that's okay. You're supposed to flow with it and let it ride inside of your body. You get what I'm saying? Like, some people don't want to go to the gym every day. Even though I'm not a gym person, I could go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week and be a-okay. I would just have to work out my workouts for me. People are, with social media, it's a double-edged sword. It allows you to see other people's lives and, grow. But on the other end, it can breed contempt and jealousy and envy because, oh, this person got this and I don't have this. This person's doing that and I'm not doing that. They're traveling the world. I'm not traveling the world. And then slowly that'll start eating at people. That 1% starts working in a negative version. A little bit a day, and then you start seeing people with traumas start to team up together to go against other people with traumas. Because these people haven't solved their issues, so they develop trauma tribes or trauma bonding, right? And that's how you see a lot of these communities form, where men ain't this, women ain't this. I need a rich dude. I can't deal with a poor woman. That's where all that comes from. Is 1% added up over time due to personal choices throughout the day. That's why this book is really good. Like, top notch. But I'm just making it in a way so you can understand what to do. Okay? If you keep doing these same routines over and over again, they will become a habit. A habit is a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that you acquired through frequent repetition. That's why they tell you repetition is important, because you repeat things regardless of what you do. We are repetitious beings, because as you get older too, it's easier for your brain to go into the same patterns, because it makes it easier to process information. When you were younger, it was easier to remember stuff, right? But as you got older, you had to write stuff down more because you have more stuff on your brain, right? It's repetition. So basically, it means your body is now on autopilot, emotionally constipated. Yep. It means your body is now on autopilot, running a series of programs, and over time, your body becomes the mind. Wow. You've done this routine so many times that your body automatically knows how to do certain things better than your brain or conscious mind. I get it. You just switch on the autopilot and go unconscious. So, which means you'll wake up the next morning and essentially do the same things all over again. I get it. So when you do something so much with your body, it becomes autopilot. And when it becomes autopilot, you're basically running on unconsciousness. So it makes it harder to make conscious decisions. That makes so much sense. You just, check this out. You just switch on the autopilot and go unconscious, which means you'll wake up the next morning and essentially do the same things over and over. In a very real sense, your body is dragging you into the same predictable future based on what you have been doing repeatedly, doing in the same familiar past. You will think the same thoughts and then make the same choices that lead to the same behaviors that create the same experiences that produce the same emotions. Over time, you've created a set of hardwired neurological networks in the brain, and you have emotionally conditioned your body to live in the past. And that past becomes your future. Wow. Man, I needed to read this with y'all because I needed this too. This is crazy. Wow. Over time, I'm going to read that again so y'all can hear that. Over time, you've created a set of hardwired neurological networks in the brain, and you have emotionally conditioned your body to live in the past. And that past becomes your future. Man. Wow. Let's go to the next passage, okay? If you were looking at a timeline of your day, starting with waking up in the morning and continuing until you go to bed that night, you could pick up that timeline of yesterday or today, your past, and place it in the space reserved for tomorrow, the future, because essentially the same actions you took today are the ones you are going to take tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. Wow. Let's face it, if you keep the same routine as yesterday, it makes sense that your tomorrow is going to be a lot like your yesterday. Wow. Your future is just a rerun of your past. The great resets, all the great resets. Your future is just a rerun of your past, all the great resets. That's because yesterday is creating your tomorrow. Come on now. That's exactly how time passes by. It's because we do things in the same motion, we become a puzzle piece, a static puzzle piece, when we're actually a wave. We're a wave, but after doing so many things, hey Danya, but after doing so many habits and patterns, we become a static puzzle piece. We become the hamster wheel. My days, I'm gonna do something different tonight. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Do one thing different. Like right now, this is different for me, reading on a live. I've never read on a live before. So I already instilled a new neural path network and a new pattern into my routine just by reading to y'all. This is new for me. I've never read on any of my lives before like this. And this is a perfect book to read with people because you can take notes and decide if you want to change. Okay. There's a figure. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. This next portion has a picture, so I am going to show you the picture. I'm going to just read the passage first, and then I'm going to show you the picture. Take a look at figure 2.1. Each of those vertical lines represent the same thought that leads to the same choice that initiates an automatic behavior, that creates a known experience, that produces a familiar feeling or an emotion. If you keep producing the same sequence in time, all those individual steps merge into one automatic program. This is how you lose your free will to a program. If you keep, let me repeat that. If you keep reproducing the same sequence in time, all those individual steps merge into one automatic program. So part of the matrix is you supplying power to the matrix by creating the hamster wheel of the same routines, habits, and emotional patterns. Damn. Motherfucker. This is good. I like this. This is how you lose your free will. What? The arrow represents an unknown experience dropping in somewhere between you driving to work in traffic, knowing you're going to be late again, and you trying to stop by the dry cleaners on your way. Now, let me show you the photo, and then we'll go back. I'm gonna switch the camera so y'all can see what he was talking about right here. Okay, so this is yesterday. Yesterday is your automatic programming. These are the lines that represent your habits and routines. When you have your habits and routines, the smaller lines together create like a puzzle piece. And as you have that puzzle piece, that's your program. That's the program you set for yourself, right? That's why they tell you right here, right? Predictable timeline of your known reality. This is your past. Each one of those are a day, right? If you keep doing the same thing every day, you set up the program for your matrix. And it'll keep the pattern going over and over and over again, right? As you stay in the now, you become an energy circle, which allows you to flow up and down to change. Tomorrow is also an automatic program. If you're always focused about this is happening, they're going to do this project 2025, AI is coming, right? That's the program you're setting inside of your thought process for it to continue the same pieces, right? But that's an unknown event for tomorrow, right? This is why they tell you to enjoy the unknown, because as you are unknown, you break the sequence. This, like you said, it's like a musical sequence, and you can break the pattern. This is where I am on the book right here. I'm right here, right? It says each of those vertical lines represents the same thought that leads to the same choice that initiates an automatic behavior that creates a known experience that produces a familiar feeling or an emotion. So that's what that is. These are your known patterns of behavior. These lines. So if you want to break those, you have to do something different in the now. One thing different in order to change the automatic program. Right? Damn. Okay. I get it now. Reading it like this helps a lot. So it's sort of like, it's like a symphony, right? You're playing the same tone in the symphony, but if you make that one choice, it's like doing a solo. It's like you finally got your solo and you can and go in, because that's what this is. This is an orchestra. God, another term for God is grand orchestra director. You are the director of your symphony, and you can play the same song over and over, or you can add different instruments, and the instruments are different habits, routines, or do something different. That's why we are creator beings, and having fun and enjoying life is a part of our existence. Them trying to suppress us, right, and put us in this, oh, you can't enjoy a life experience in America compared to other places, is another way of mind control. I get it. It's like a mind control suppression. By not allowing you to live a life, you're focused on the same things, so you become a static puzzle piece. They some hoes. But I get it though. They some hoes. We could say that your mind and body are in the known, the same predictable future based on what you did in the same familiar past. And in the known, certain future, there's no room for the unknown. In fact, if something new happened, if something unknown were to unfold in your life at that moment to change the same predictable timeline of your day, you'd probably be annoyed at the disruption of your routine. This is why it's so hard to wake people up. Because So many people are comfortable in their programs. They're comfortable in that hamster wheel, that when something comes to disrupt their hamster wheel, it annoys them. Like how you come into the room and you start talking about aliens and stuff to certain people, and they're like, I don't want to hear about that. They're used to being in their routine because it's comfortable. And it annoys them that something is coming to disrupt what they've known their entire lives. That's crazy. You'd likely consider it troublesome, problematic, and downright inconvenient. You might say, can you come back tomorrow? This is not the right time. Bro, what? I get it. That's why it's so hard to wake up people. Some people like their puzzle piece of staying in the same routine and not questioning. Okay. That's that irritating demons they be saying. Oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. How about those chiefs? You know how they change subjects real quick? That's disrupting their programming. Man, come on. Wow. A habit is a redundant set of automatic, unconscious thoughts, behaviors, and emotions that develop through repetition. It's when you've done something so many times that your body is programmed to become the mind. Over time, your body is dragging you to a predictable future based on what you've been doing in the past. Therefore, if you're not in the present moment, you're probably in a program. So if you're not in the present moment, you're in a program of your own mind to be in a hamster wheel. Motherfuckers. Okay. This helps a lot. This is really helpful for me. Like, okay. This is helping. I'm like, for real, man. I needed to read this again. The fact is, there's no room for the unknown in a predictable life. Being predictable is not how the unknown works. The unknown is unfamiliar, uncertain, but it's also exciting because it occurs in ways you cannot expect or anticipate. So let me ask you, how much room in your routine, predictable life do you have for the unknown? How much do you have for the unknown in your life? Do y'all have room? I have some, but I need to make some more space. I see it. I need to make some more space, but I'm ready. Let's get it. Let's do it. By staying in the known, following the same sequence each day of thinking the same thoughts, making the same choices, demonstrating the same program habits, recreating the same experiences that stamp the same networks of neurons into the same patterns to reaffirm the same familiar feeling called you. You are repeating the same level of mind over and over again. So it's like, dang, in time, your brain becomes automatically programmed to do any one of those particular sequences more easily and effortlessly the next time. So the more you get into it, the more your brain automatically does it to make it easier for you to process. As each of these individual steps merge into one complete step, thinking a familiar thought of an experience of somebody or something at some place and some time will automatically create the anticipation of the feeling of the experience. What's up, Top Cat? If you can predict the feeling of any experience, you are still in the known. For instance, the thought of having to meet with the same team of people you have worked with for years can automatically cause you to call up the emotion of what the future event will feel like. Wow. When you can predict the feeling of the future event because you've had enough past experiences to make it known to you, you are probably going to be creating more of the same. Hey, Devo, great to see you, honeydew. And of course, you are right. But that's because you are the same. By the same means, if you are in the automatic program and you cannot predict the feeling of an experience in your life, you will probably be hesitant to engage in it. Wow. If you are in the automatic program and you cannot predict the feeling of an experience in your life, you will probably be hesitant to engage it. So if you do something that's out of the normal for you, anything is beneficial for your body because you're experiencing more life, and it allows you to flow and not be a static puzzle piece. I get it. We need to look at one more aspect of thinking and feeling to get the full picture of what's happening when you keep living in the same state of being. This thinking feeling loop also produces a measurable electromagnetic field that surrounds our bodies, our physical bodies. In fact, our bodies are always emitting light, energy, or frequencies that carry a specific message, information, or intention. By the way, when I say light, I am not just referring to the light we see, but to all spectrums of light, including X-rays, cell phone waves, and microwaves. In the same way, we also receive vital information that is carried on different frequencies. So we are always sending and receiving electromagnetic energy. Your body is an antenna, and you're taking in these different strands of light in your body, and they're producing a projection throughout your third eye. And as these projections of light produce, they're coming from your subconscious. If you continually do something in a habit, it starts to settle in your subconscious. And as it settles, it'll keep projection that image in a clearer fashion because it's your routine that you're used to. I'm getting it now. Okay. Here's how that works. Let me explain. When we think a thought, those networks of neurons that fire in our brain create electrical charges. When those thoughts also create a chemical reaction that results in a feeling or an emotion, as well as when a familiar feeling or emotion is driving our thoughts, those feelings create magnetic charges. Okay, so I'll repeat that. When those thoughts also cause a chemical reaction that results in a feeling or an emotion, as well as when a familiar feeling or emotion is driving our thoughts, those feelings create magnetic charges. That's where the magneticity comes from. They merge with the thoughts that create the electric charges to produce a specific electromagnetic field equal to your state of being. Wow. Yeah. Think of emotions as energy in motion. When someone experiencing a strong emotion walks into a room, their energy, aside from their body language, is often very palpable. We have all felt another person's energy and intent when they were angry or very frustrated. We felt it because they were emitting a strong signal of energy that carried specific information. That same is true of a very sexual person, a person who is suffering, or a person who has a calm, loving energy. All those energies can be sensed and felt. As you might expect, different emotions produce different frequencies. The frequencies of creative, elevated emotions like love, joy, and gratitude are much higher than the emotions of stress, such as fear and anger, because they carry different levels of consciousness, intent, and energy. Love, joy, and gratitude are and creativity are key. Love, joy, gratitude, and creativity. See figure 2.2, which details some of the different frequencies associated with the various emotional states. I'm going to turn the page and I'm going to show you. Okay? So, I'm going to show you the figure right now. Okay? So, let me turn the camera so we can look at this together. So, this is some of your emotions with different energies, right? So, these are elevated emotion, faster frequencies and greater energy. Slower frequency means greater density and matter. These are your survival emotions, right? So basically, the faster the frequency is, right? Your body is frequency, energy, and vibration. The faster you are, you're in bliss. So your frequency emits a faster vibration. This is what they mean by raise your vibrations. As you raise your frequency and your vibrations, you stay in a certain elevated state. So your emotional state will be like, right? So that's bliss and freedom. These two are the highest ones. Bliss, freedom, love are the highest ones, right? Joy, appreciation, gratitude. You see how they're slower waves, but they're more frequent. Slower waves, but more frequent, right? So let me show you. That way you can see. It shows your willpower. It shows your control, your anger, your fear, your guilt, your shame, your suffering, victimization, pain, and lust. It slows your wave down. It slows your wave down and basically increases your density. So these emotions like guilt, shame, suffering, victimization, pain, lust, fear, and anger, from here, anger, control down is the emotional energy states they try to keep us in. That's the scale of emotional energy waves they try to keep us in. These right here, from control down. Okay, so you see it, control down to lust. This is why they project so much of the anger, hate, pain, sadness, depression, division, is to keep you in these lower energetic waves. And as your wave slows down, it makes it easier for you to stay in that routine or habit to keep you in a static puzzle piece. That's how they can control you with music. That's how they control you with television, media. They keep these low waves pulsating. I get it. And as they keep these emotional energies on you, your body becomes denser. You have a greater it's like putting an anchor on your body. So if you're a light body, that's energy and waves of crystalline. As they put these emotions and different things on you, it's like putting an anchor on your crystalline light body to keep you in a physical vessel. Because as long as you're in a physical vessel, I can continually harm and absorb your energy. That's what I'm getting from this. They slow your waves. That's why the higher beings and the other dimensional beings and your higher selves and your spirit guides are telling you to stay in high vibrations. Because from this, it shows right here, these three at the top are high vibrations. You're at a constant wavelength like this. But when you're in these lower ones, control, anger, sadness, depression, fear, it makes the wave slower. So it makes you more dense. So you stay more in this physical vessel because they can't live without you being in a physical vessel. And once you go to your crystalline light body, so basically you wake up, those beings that were projected in your reality no longer exist. So they do what they can. They have sentience and they do what they can to try to stay alive. Man, come on now. This makes so much sense. So when you on your awakening journey, all of a sudden your family members call you crazy. People around you say you don't know what you're talking about. Right? People look at you crazy and you on the right path because they trying to stay alive in the physical. Because once you wake up to your crystalline light body, you absorb all your energy projected in this simulation in order to upgrade into your true self. I get it. So a lot of these beings are so used to being around that when you start to, you know how they say we are the thought process in someone else's dream? When you wake up from your dream, those beings go to sleep permanently. I got it. Oh, okay. That's how powerful your motherfucking ass is. That's how powerful your ass is. Emotions are energy in motion. All energy is frequency, and all frequency carries information. So when you're in higher states of emotional waves or high vibrations, it's easier to tap into your Akashic record or your internal light library when you're at these higher vibrational states. I got you. Okay. We're gonna have to move a little different now. So if we are recreating the past day after day, thinking the same thoughts and feeling the same emotions, we are broadcasting the same electromagnetic field over and over again, sending out the same energy with the same message. From the perspective of energy and information, this means the same energy of our past continues to carry the same information, which then keeps creating the same future. Our energy then is essentially equal to our past. The only way we can change our lives is to change our energy, to change the electromagnetic field we are constantly broadcasting. In other words, to change our state of being, we have to change how we think and how we feel. So in order to change your state of being, where you are right now, you have to change how you think and how you feel. Sending love and support to you. I am Legion. Gratitude. We're learning about energy and why this is so important. Frequency, energy, and vibration are the keys to the universe. And now I see what Nikola Tesla mean. Right? Watch this. Now I'm going to show you this next photo. Okay? And then we're going to read. I'm going to show you the next photo. Okay, this is from Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. This is a really good book. Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. Right there. Okay. Now we're on this page right here. Okay. Siphoning energy out of the present moment. This is your electromagnetic field that's coming around you. All of the energy is coming led in this known timeline. That's the past. That's the future. All of it is happening now. What are you taking into your field that is projecting in your present now? Are you taking in future versions of yourself right now? Are you taking in past versions of yourself to create who you are at this moment in time? See right here. If where you place your attention is where you place your energy, the moment you put your attention on familiar feelings and memories, you are siphoning your energy into the past and out of the present moment. In the same way, if your attention is constantly on all the people you have to see, the places you have to go, the things you have to do at certain times in your known familiar reality, then you are siphoning your energy out of the present moment and into the predictable future. I'm gonna let y'all screenshot that real quick. Hold on. Y'all need the screenshot. This is a really good illustration. Okay. This is really helpful. Like, this has been really helpful on the cool. Okay? If where you place your attention is where you place your energy, a key concept that you'll learn more about later in this chapter, then the moment you place your attention on a familiar emotion, your attention and your energy are in the past. Okay? So if you've had a feeling that you've done something before, let's say you've never picked up a basketball, and you pick up a basketball and all of a sudden your ears start ringing, that means you've done it before. You've done it before, right? And your body is trying to do something different. But it also means that you have a skill set in that particular thing. If you do this activity, it'll be easier for you to catch on to that activity because you already have a skill set in there too. So that's another caveat to that. So I'm just throwing that out there. Okay? If those familiar emotions are connected to a memory of some past event involving a person or an object at a particular place and time, then your intention and your energy are in the past as well. As a consequence, you are siphoning your energy out of the present moment into your past. By the same means, if you start to think about all the people you have to see, the things you have to do, and the places you have to go at certain times in your routine day, you are siphoning your attention and energy to a predictable future. Okay. This makes sense. Okay, going to the next page. This is page 20. This is page 36. We're on chapter 2 of Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. All of your energy is now completely commingled with those known experiences in that specific line of time. So basically, as you're sitting inside of your body meditating, right? Your body has different strands of light. And when you do those activities, those strands of light start activating. Like, hey, you did this before. This might be part of your life if you do this activity. Right? But it also means that you've done this activity before. And one of your goals to come here is to experience more of life. So to do something different than what you did before. Your physical body is a cocoon for your soul. And right now you're in the cocoon stage with your physical vessel experiencing, so that when you come out of the cocoon, when this whole simulation ends for you in particular, you'll be ready to step into the higher version of your light. So there's a God version of a lot of beings out there, or the higher crystalline light version of you. And you're stepping into, it's like, imagine meditating here, and then there's another version of you at your grandma's house, and then there's another version of you at your auntie house, there's another version at your mama house, right? And you're using the cocoon right now to decide which house you want to wake up in. Does that make sense? That's what we're doing right now. This physical vessel is like, we're trying to choose which house we want to rise our soul into, because it's already everything is already created, but your current awareness is allowing you to move your awareness and your thoughts into the version of yourself you want to be. Does that make sense? That's why this energy stuff is so important. Energy, frequency, and vibration are the keys to the universe. That's why this is so important. People think it's just some hippie stuff. This controls your electromagnetic field that projects the image of reality for your consciousness. And since your consciousness was created in a specific way to project, your consciousness was made to project. Everything around you is just energy in a projection. And you're moving from 360p to 1080p or 720 or 540. It's just depending on how much awareness you have in your consciousness. That's where that comes from, if that makes sense. Okay, let's continue. All of your energy is now completely commingled with those known experiences in that specific line of time. Your energy is creating more of the same, and your body is going to follow your mind to the same events in your same reality. Your energy is being directed out of the present moment and into the past and the future. As a result, you have very little energy left to create an unknown experience in a new timeline. So you have the option to change. Okay, I'm getting it. Energy, frequency, and vibration. I smell a tattoo. Same. I feel a tattoo coming. Figure 2.3 also shows how the electromagnetic energy you emanate is a vibrational match with everything known to you. So as you start your day, when you have a thought of the toilet, the next thing you know, there you are walking towards the toilet. Then you have the thought of the shower, and you find yourself in the shower, adjusting the water temperature. You have the thought of the coffee maker, and you're projecting your attention and energy to the coffee maker. And as you automatically walk to the kitchen to make your morning cup of java, once again, your body is following your mind. And if you've done that for the last 22 years, your body is going to effortlessly coast right over there. So as you do it more and more over the years, whatever your habits may be, your body will make it easier for you to go back into that habit because it's coasting into it. Dang, your body is always following your mind. But in this case, it's been repeatedly following your mind to the known. That's because that's where your attention and therefore your energy is. That's where that program come from. We're reprogramming the memory right now so that we can achieve new experiences. I get it. So now let me ask you this. Could it ever be possible for your body to start following your mind to the unknown? If so, you can see that you would have to change where you put your attention, and that would lead to changing your energy, which would require you to change how you think and how you feel long enough for something new to happen. While it may sound incredible, this is indeed possible. It makes sense that just as your body has been following your mind to every known experience in your life, like the coffee maker each morning, if you were to start investing your attention and energy into the unknown, your body would then be able to follow your mind into the unknown, a new experience in your future. Where attention goes, energy flows. So that's why I said, if you have to take a break from social media, if you have to take a break from people, environment, people, places or things, take that break. It's because your body is so used to these routines that your soul wants to experience the unknown, the new, right? Same, I get it, because it's easier to fall back into those patterns. I get it. Priming your mind and body for a new future. If you are familiar with my work, you know that I'm in love with the concept of mental rehearsal. I am fascinated by how we can change the brain as well as the body by thought alone. Think about that for a moment. If you focus your attention on a specific imagery in your mind, and become very present with the sequence of repeated thoughts and feelings, your brain and body will not know the difference between what is occurring in the outer world and what is happening in your inner world. So basically, your imagination is key. Visualization is key. When you use your imagination and your visualization, you're emanating that to your electromagnetic field, and your electromagnetic field will project that. So this is how people, you know how reptilians shapeshift? This is how we tap into our cellular structure so we can do X-Men like abilities, Star Wars, like the force that comes from your mitochondria, your DNA, your cells, right? Your inner world. This whole world that you experience is the inner world for your outer self, your real self. And what you want to choose next is the elevated form of yourself, because that form is sort of like merging. You're like merging with that portion, right? I get it. I get it. Okay. Metahumans. Metahumans. Yep. Supercell. Like the movie Supercell. You're tuning into yourself. I get it. So when you're fully engaged and focused, the inner world of imagination will appear as an outer world experience, and your biology will change accordingly. So, as I just said, it's like giving your DNA commands to change. Well, I don't want to look like this no more. DNA, you imagine your cells shifting, and it'll start the process for your body to change. That's how people lose weight, just by thinking about it. They think, but they still have their actions toward. This is amazing. I should have been read this for y'all. This is amazing. Yeah. That means you can make your brain and body look as if a physical experience has happened without having the actual experience. So it's like you're setting up the blueprint, right? As if it happened already. And then your electromagnetic field will literally draw that into reality like an Etch-a-Sketch. What you put your attention on and mentally rehearse over and over again not only becomes who you are from a biological perspective, it also determines your future. Self-hypnosis. Okay, so when you use your imagination, all right, big booty goddesses dropping it on me. No. I had to throw a funny one in there. Our inner child's imagination is creating in the physical realm. For real. I agree with her though. That's why they tell you go back to your childhood, your inner self. Your childhood is when you had limitless imagination without worry, you know? Infinite double hand twist. Oh man. In order to save the world, I must clap 1,000 goddesses' cheek now. In a world where a god is becoming aware, one god decides to clap 1,000 no. I'm just playing. But, you know, we gotta have humor. Humor is another good thing in there. But, yeah, my imagination, I got the infinity world of double hand. Anyway, here's a good example. Tap into your creativity and imagination and passions at all the same time. Creativity, imagination, and passion together. When you put those together, okay. Got it. It's set. Here's a good example. A team of Harvard researchers took a group of volunteers who had never before played the piano and divided the group in half. One half practiced a simple 5-finger piano exercise for 2 hours a day over a period of 5 days. The remaining half did the same thing, but just by imagining that they were sitting at the piano without physically moving their fingers in any way. The before and after brain scans showed that both groups created a dramatic number of new neural circuits and new neurological programming in the region of their brains that control finger movements, even though one group did so by thought alone. Hey, Kristen, so just by thinking about being able to play piano, right? They developed a neural network in their brain in order for their brain to easily play the piano. And the other group actually practiced the piano and they had the same results, and the other group didn't even practice playing the piano. That's amazing. Think about this. This is Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. We're on the present moment, which is chapter 2. Okay. Think about this. The folks who mentally rehearsed the actions had brains that looked like the experience had already happened, even though they never lifted a finger. If you were to put them in front of a piano after 5 days of mental rehearsal, many of them would be able to play the exercise they imagined pretty well, even though they have never played tickled the ivories. Even though they had never, that's it. Even though they had never before tickled the ivories or played the key, excuse me. By mentally imagining the activity every day, they installed the neurological hardware in preparation for the experience. They repeatedly fired and wired those brain circuits with their attention and intention, and over time the hardware became an automatic software program in their brains, and it became easier to do next time. Limitless, that movie Limitless, that's exactly what we're doing. Limitless, because that's what we are. So if they were to start to play after 5 days of mental practice, their behaviors would become easily aligned with their conscious intentions because they prime their brain for the experience ahead of time. That's how powerful the mind can be once trained. Wow. So if you use your creativity, imagination, visualization, and you visualize it, it becomes into fruition and it creates neurological patterns. That's why they say feel like you already are. I get it. Similar studies show the same kinds of results with muscle training. Hey, what's up, Tenno? Grand to see you. In a pioneer study at the Cleveland Clinic, 10 research subjects between the age of 20 and 35 imagined flexing one of their biceps as hard as they could in 5 training sessions a week for 12 weeks. For every other week, the researchers recorded the subjects' electrical brain activity during the sessions and measured their muscle strength. By the end of the study, the subjects had increased their bicep strength by 13.5%, even though they hadn't actually been using their muscles. So just by using their brain, they're training their body to grow 13.5%. Just by using their thoughts. And it changed neural network patterns. Yeah, you can combine colors and music and notes. Synesthesia is what they call it. There's a TV show too about Limitless. It's a follow-up on it. Yep. That's how people can see music. Exactly. You see the music and you hear it and then you create it. They maintain the game for 3 months after the training session stopped. So even after they stopped training, their muscles remain at 13.5 extra experience in their body after they stopped, into the frequency that you are creating in your mind. Oh yeah, I'm finna start. They didn't taught the wrong one. I'm finna be imagining stuff every day. Every day I'm finna use my imagination. Every day. To this day. Okay. More recently, a research team made up of scientists from the University of Texas at San Antonio, the Cleveland Clinic, and the Kessler Foundation Research in West Orange, New Jersey, asked subjects to visualize contracting their elbow flexor muscles. As they did so, they were instructed to urge the muscles to flex as strong and hard as possible, adding a firm intention to their strong mental energy for 15-minute sessions, 5 days a week for 12 weeks. One group of subjects was instructed to use what is called external or third-person imagery, imagining themselves performing the exercise by observing themselves in a scene in their head separate from the experience, like watching a movie of yourself. A second group was instructed to use internal or first-person imagery, imagining that their bodies as they existed right then in real time were doing the exercise, making it more immediate and realistic. A third group, the control, did no practice. The group using external imagery, as well as the control group, showed no significant change, but the group using internal imagery showed a 10.8 increase in strength. Another team of researchers from the Ohio University went so far as to wrap the wrists of 29 volunteers in surgical casts for 1 month, ensuring they wouldn't be able to move their wrist even unintentionally. Half the group practiced mental imagery exercises for 11 minutes a day, 5 days a week, imagining they were flexing their immobilized wrist muscles while actually remaining completely still. The other half, the control group, did nothing. At the end of the month, when all the casts came off, the muscles of the imagery group were twice as strong as that of the control group. So basically, using your imagination with whatever activity you're doing, your creative spark allows you to increase the visualization, allows you to increase the progress or the process of whatever you're doing. That's amazing. If you can see it, you can achieve it. I get it. Each of these muscle studies show how mental rehearsal not only changes the brain, but can also change the body by thought alone. In other words, by practicing the behaviors in their mind and consciously reviewing the activity on a regular basis, the bodies of the subjects look like they have been physically performing the activity, and yet they never did the exercises. Those who added the emotional component of doing the exercise as hard as possible to the intensity of the mental imagery made the experience even more real and the results more pronounced. In the piano playing study, the brains of the research subjects looked as though they imagined had already happened because they had primed their brains for that future. In a similar way, the subjects in the muscle flexing studies changed their bodies to look as if they had previously experienced that reality, just by mentally rehearsing the activity through thought alone. You can see why when you wake up in the rising and start thinking about people you have to see, the places you have to go, and the things you have to do in your busy schedule, that's mentally rehearsing. And then you add an intense emotion to it, like suffering or unhappiness or frustration, just like the elbow flexor volunteers who urge their muscles to flex without moving them at all. You are conditioning your brain and body to look like that future has already happened. Since experience enriches the brain and creates an emotion that signals the body, when you continuously create an inward experience that is as real as an outer experience, over time you're going to change your brain and body just like any real world experience. In fact, when you wake up and start thinking about your day neurologically, biologically, chemically, and even genetically, which I will explain in the next section, it looks as though that day has already happened for you. So it's like you're predicting your day by how you do your day when you start the day. And in fact, it has. Once you actually start the day's activities, just as in the experiments above, your body is naturally and automatically going to behave equal to your consciousness or unconscious intentions. So regardless of whether you're conscious or unconscious, your body is going to go into a routine mode automatically. It's going to go into habit and routine mode. But you have to be conscious of what you're doing to change the routine for the day. If you've been doing the same thing for years on end, those circuits, as well as the rest of your biology, are more readily and easily activated. So if you continue to do the same things, the circuit, like in that picture we showed at 2.1, those lines that you have are your life. And as you set those lines up, you start to set up circuits. And as you set up those circuits in your body are easier to activate because it's already set up. So in order to break the circuits for 21 days to break a habit, you have to do 1% difference every day for 21 days. So what I recommend to people, and what I recommend if you're trying to break a habit or do something new, do 7 days. So let's say Monday, I want to not eat cookies no more, right? For that whole week, you can't have no cookies at all. No kind of cookies. You can have you a pie. You can have you a cake, but you can't have no cookies for 7 days, okay? After the 7 days, the next week, so for this next 7 days, you can't have no cake. You can still have pie, but you can't have cookies and you can't have cake, right? At the end of the second week, you're already 2 weeks into the first habit. At the end of the third week, you're already 3 weeks into the first habit, 2 weeks into the second habit, and you've already broken the first habit. That's why I recommend 7 days. That's the best way to break habits. Take 7 days, right? That's why they say, you go on a fast for 3 days, and then 7, and then 21, and then like that. It's the same concept, just a little bit a day. I know all of us want to change drastically. Even me want to just change everything drastically. We change something a little bit a day. Change the neural patterns of your life. Change your pattern. If you brush your teeth with your right hand, brush your teeth with your left hand tomorrow. If you wash your face like this, wash your face like this with the other hand. You get what I'm saying? Do something different. Hey, Fanique, great to see you. And the reason why you do something different is because you develop new neural networks, new circuits, right? So let's say I wash my face like this every day, and then all of a sudden the next day I wash my face like this. Now that may not seem like a significant change, but your brain has to get out of that consistent programming that it had. Just like most people, when they get up, they either go brush their teeth or they go eat first because they know they about to eat, and then go brush their teeth. You get what I'm saying? Most people's rising habits can show what they're gonna do throughout the day, which is so crazy. Now I see why the millionaires and all those rich people, they get up at a certain time. They do the same thing. So it sets up a neural network in order to thrive and be in a prosperity energy or electromagnetic energy. So that rising routine or the morning routine, I get why that's so important now, because it sets the tone for the day. So as soon as you get up, while you're still sitting in the bed, say all the things you're grateful for. I'm grateful for rising up. I'm grateful for my children. If you got kids, I don't. Grateful for my pets, my house, my food. Start it like that, right? Soon, while you're still laying in the bed. Instead of being like, oh man, I gotta go to work, fuck this whole ass job, fuck these whole ass co-workers. Change that. Just change that. Just be like, well, I'm glad I got a job to get some bread. I don't want to work this whole, so I'm gonna do something different. So like me, you know what I'm saying? I like my job. It's cool, but I don't see myself working for people the rest of my life, because they ain't gonna never pay you what you worth. I see that. So now, with this information I'm armed with, I have to visualize myself waking up in the version of myself that doesn't have to work for people anymore. That doesn't have to slave. That doesn't have to deal with all this extra. So I have to wake up and use my creativity and my imagination as a precursor, a foundation, so I could set up this new version of myself. Because I'm planning on being a different person by the summer. The person y'all know, there's certain characteristics I want to keep, but by the summer, I want to be somebody different. Because the same routine stuff, this ain't gonna work for me no more. The same matrix shit, this ain't gonna work for me. Hearing all these people, all this shit happening, I'm gonna focus on what I can control for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking tired of projected baloney. I'm worth more than that's projected on any application. Just like y'all are worth more, and y'all valuable, y'all are abundant. And I'm not gonna let some beings try to tell me I'm a slave, or I gotta act like, yes, a master, or you gotta do. No, I ain't finna do that. No. So I'm gonna arm this information, and I'm gonna use this to help me make changes. That's why I'm glad I'm reading this with y'all, because I needed this too. Like I said, I don't always have it all together. I'm not even gonna sit here and be like, yeah man, I got this marvelous life and I'm doing exactly what I want. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all like that. I'm in the process of evolution and growth as well. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. You'll see people, they always showcase their good moments and their grand features on social media, but they don't show you the times they crying in the car, fuck life, screaming in the pillow and shit like that. That's the other side of spirituality and shit people don't see. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just keep it G with you. Like I said, I don't always have it together, and that's fine. For dudes, most dudes, they have to keep a stone face, like, yeah, it's alright, suck it up, but sometimes, you gotta let that emotion out. Like, man, fuck this shit, man, I'm finna go hustle, or transmute it, or produce it in a different way. Use your creation power, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my creation power and create what I want. Tired of, if you don't create what you want, somebody else gonna use your energy to create what they want, and I get it. So fuck all that slavery shit. Y'all can make it a hot bowl of grits to the face. Shit. Anyway, the next section is called Making Genetic Changes. We used to think that genes created disease and that we were at the mercy of our DNA. So if many people in someone's family died of heart disease, we assumed that their chances of also developing heart disease would be pretty high. But we know now, through the science of epigenetics, that it's not the gene that carries disease, but the environment that programs our genes to create disease. Let me repeat that. It's not the gene that creates disease, but the environment that programs the genes to create the disease. Wow. And not just the external environment outside of our body. It says particulars or pesticides, for example, but also the internal environment within our body, the environment outside our cells. This is some good shit, bro. Y'all need to get this book, Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. This gonna help you out on the spiritual journey for real, because this is helping me, and I'm with y'all. I'm like, type shit. What do I mean by the environment within our body? As I said previously, emotions are chemical feedback, the end products of experiences we have in our external environment. So as we react to a situation in our external environment that produces an emotion, the resulting internal chemistry can signal our genes to either turn on, up regulating or producing an increased expression of the gene, or to turn off, down regulating or producing a decreased expression of the gene. The gene itself doesn't physically change. The expression of the gene changes. That expression is what matters most, because that is what affects our health and our lives. Thus, even though someone may have a genetic disposition for a particular disease, for example, if their genes continue to express health instead of expressing that disease, they won't develop the condition and will remain healthy. Right? So they're basically saying, if you live in a family of people who, right, and you like that, right, depending on how your environment is expressed, your genes will turn on to either activate the same type of thing they had, like if they had lung cancer or something like that, or it can trigger and keep you healthy so you don't have the same thing that your family had. And this is coming from a doctor, by the way. His name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. Doctor. This is coming from a doctor, so this is legit shit. Basically telling you how epigenetics is it, like, even though your family had, let's say you had trauma, epigenetic trauma passed down, depending on the environment, you can use that as a trigger to create something better, or you can use that as a trigger to trigger something in your body to get the same thing they had. Man, that's wild. So you can be a different version or better. Think of the body as a finely tuned instrument that produces proteins. Every one of our cells, except red blood cells, makes proteins, which are responsible for the body's physical structure and physiological function. For example, muscle cells make specific proteins known as actin and myosin, and skin cells make the proteins collagen and elastin. Okay? Immune cells make antibodies. Thyroid cells make thyroxine, and bone marrow cells make hemoglobin. Some of our eye cells make keratin, while our pancreatic cells make enzymes like protease, lipase, and amylase. There isn't an organ or a system in the body that does not rely on or produce proteins. They are a vital part of our immune system, digestion, cellular repair, and bone and muscle structure. You name it. They're a part of it. In a very real way, then, the expression of proteins is the expression of life and is equal to the health of the body. In order for a cell to make a protein, a gene must be expressed. That's the job of the genes, to facilitate making proteins. When the signal from the environment outside of the cell reaches the cell membrane, the chemical is accepted by a receptor outside of the cell and makes its way to the DNA inside the cell. Then a gene makes a new protein that's equal to that signal. So if the information coming from outside of the cell does not change, so what you take in your environment, all the stuff you see on social media, if that does not change, the genes keep making the same protein and the body stays the same. So you keep taking in all this extra shit they trying to pump out, your body produces the same chemicals in the same electromagnetic field to stay in the same wavelength that they want to produce. Okay? Over time, the gene will begin to down regulate. It will either shut off its healthy expression of proteins or it will eventually wear out. So your body will keep producing to a certain degree and then it'll start shutting off the cell, right? You know how they trying to turn off your cells? You get what I'm saying? Like making a copy of a copy of a copy, causing the body to express a different quality of proteins. So after your body is constantly producing the same chemical response over and over and over, it's like a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. It downgrades each time from the original, right? And as the original gets to a certain level, it'll wear out. It's done. It'll wear out completely. Okay. This next page will be the last page, and then we'll take a break because it's a lot comprehending this and reading. This is a new neural path for me. Like I said, reading. I've never read on a live like this with people and getting other people's feedback. This is a new neural response. This is a change of pace for me. So this right here is triggering new experiences within inside of my electromagnetic field and my being, which allows me to grow. So just this small action just changed my being and my experience. That's amazing. Different classifications of stimuli upregulate and downregulate genes. We activate experience dependent genes, for example, by doing new things or learning new information. These genes are responsible for stem cells getting the instructions to differentiate, transforming into whatever type of cell the body needs at that particular time to replace the cells that are damaged. We activate behavioral state-dependent genes when we are in high levels of stress or arousal, or in an alternative state of awareness like dreaming. You can think of these genes as the fulcrum of mind-body connection because they provide a link between our thoughts and our bodies, allowing us to influence our physical health through various behaviors, meditation, prayer, or social rituals, for example. When genes are altered in this way, sometimes within minutes, those altered genes can then be passed on to the next generation. So depending on how your emotional state is, if you have children, when you're passing on your emotional, you literally are passing on emotional distress, turmoil, pain, love, joy, gratitude to your children through genetics, depending on how you felt when they were being conceived. Wow. This is how you can keep generations in trauma, but this is also how you can break the cycle from generational trauma. by instilling different values of meditation, prayer, gratitude, joy, love, creativity, imagination with your children so that you can break generational curses. That's why this is important. This goes down to your genes, man. Your genes. Wow. So when you change your emotions, you can change the expression of your genes, turning some on and others off, because you are sending a new chemical signal to your DNA, which can then instruct your genes to make different proteins, up-regulating or down-regulating to make all kinds of new building blocks that can change the structure and function of your body. For example, if your immune system has been subject to living in the emotions of stress for too long and has certain genes activated for inflammation and disease, you can turn on new genes for growth and repair and switch off the old genes responsible for disease. Right? So basically, you're changing your cells to eat the bad cells, to create new cellular and genetic patterns so that your body won't produce the same type of inflammation. A lot of disease is inflammation and mucus in the body. And you can change your genetic pattern using watching your emotional state. Stress triggers some disease too. Dis-ease means coming out of your natural state. That's why they call it dis. Dis means no, against, right? Against ease, right? Against ease. Being out of the natural. So when you're out of your natural state, right? That's when disease forms. It starts as thought form. And as it sits in a place, so I don't speak up for myself with my throat. You develop a stagnancy, and over time, it makes it more susceptible for you to get throat illnesses because you don't speak up for yourself. Because your cells react to your thought process, your electromagnetic field. Right? As an example, if this is, right, this is closed, right? The spiritual stuff you see compared to another person, if they don't have this open, they won't see what you see. Does that make sense? They could be an alien standing right in front of you, and they could be right beside you looking at it. And they'll be like, that's a demon. It's because this hasn't opened up enough for them to see what's really going on. So some people basically are what we call awakening. It's their light turning on at a certain time. What we call time is just a certain wavelength their light is supposed to turn on. So even if you try to wake up somebody, it may not be their current. It may not be in their current at the moment for them to reach that level yet. Right? And once they get to a certain point where their current is at a level they can see, then it'll make it easier for them to wake and they start to cascade up. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Why it's harder to wake up certain people too, right? And at the same time, these epigenetically altered genes will begin to follow new instructions, making new proteins and programming the body for growth, repair, and healing. This is how you can successfully recondition your body to a new mind. You're altering your genes to make new proteins by reprogramming the body for growth, repair, and healing. So as you read earlier in this chapter, this means that if you're living by the same emotions day in and day out, your body believes it's in the same environmental conditions. So if you grew up in a chaotic environment when you were a child, that's comfortable for you. So as you get older, if you don't have chaos, that's not peace for you. You get what I'm saying? Now y'all see what I mean by when you cause trauma as a child. That's why they tell you to do shadow work and that inner work, because it translates to your adulthood. That's why you see a lot of people get with people who have trauma, because they develop trauma bonds together. Because they grew up in chaos and the other person grew up in chaos. And if they're not in some kind of little chaos with each other, then it's not peaceful. It's not what they consider peace. Right? Then those feelings influence you to make the same choices, causing you to demonstrate the same habits that then create the same experiences that then produce the same emotions all over again. A lot of stuff stems from the childhood. A familiar feeling, how somebody makes you feel, how this environment feels. A lot of it stems from the childhood, bro. That's why they keep telling you to do this inner work, this shadow work. Thanks to these automatic program habits, your cells are constantly being exposed to the same chemical environment outside your body and your environment, as well as outside the cells but within your body. That chemistry keeps signaling the same genes in the same way, and so you're stuck between when you stay the same, your genetic expression stays the same. And now you are headed for a genetic destiny because you don't have any new information coming from the environment. You're destined to be the same if you continue to be in the same patterns. This is a good book, Cal. Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispenza. If you really on your spiritual journey, this gonna help a lot. This really gonna help a lot. Like, man, just reading this, I'm just like, I needed this. I needed this for real, bro. Just like y'all, I'm gonna actually put a bookmark in the page, because I'm gonna come back to this one. I'm gonna put a little bookmark in the page. That was chapter 2. There's still 14 chapters. That's chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the present moment. We not even finished with chapter 2, and it's already profound. I'm finna read this whole book again. I never really liked the environment I was at. I knew something was wrong or missing. Excuse me. I knew something was wrong or missing. Speak it into existence. What? Believing that you speak. I agree. I appreciate all the gods and goddesses that be giving information, because I know there's gods and goddesses that be on social media out there, and all the mentors and all the extraterrestrial beings that be giving advice and information, gratitude and love. Definitely needed. It really does help. So gratitude to the beings that want to see us shine and be more than regular, to elevate to universal consciousness and not just be some baloney. Create some grand experiences, because that's what we're here to do. Create experiences instead of being in suffering and sadness and pain and all this other baloney. We're here to experience the vessel and do what it do. So to the beings that want to see us shine, gratitude. To the other beings that take time to help, gratitude, much love. No matter what happened, the growth is growth. So no matter what happens next, visualize the reality. So just from that little take in that chapter, I'm not even done with the chapter, but the key things I've got from that chapter is use visualization, use creativity, imagination, break your routine, the normal routine you do, even if it's just one thing a day, just break a small routine, change your emotional patterns, not just your habits, your emotional patterns, because your emotion is energy in motion, and to clear some of that stagnancy in your emotional circuit board, aka your soul, your consciousness, you have to break the pattern a little bit at a time. Slow and steady can win the race, for real. I get it. Less stress on your chest. There's a lot of stuff stressing us out, or trying to stress us out, due to paying bills and, the quality of living in America and all this other stuff. Tune that shit out. I get it. Tune that out. That's why I felt, when this TikTok stuff happened, this was a giant energy grab. They were just harvesting energy with TikTok and YouTube. All these social medias were just doing a giant energy harvest. Because you see people crying, people getting angry, and then they put TikTok back on the next day, and you see people excited and happy and everything. They controlled so many people's emotions with the push of a button. That's terrible. That also lets you know some people are so used to technology that if technology was taken from them, they wouldn't feel whole without technology, because they made it a part of their routine, their habits. That's why they got us used to cell phones. That's why they got us used to using certain things. The convenience of having these things, even though we do these naturally. It costs nothing to pay attention. It costs your energy and your currency. You pay attention with your currency. Your currency is awareness. So if you don't feed into their shit, if you don't feed their, their awareness, they have no currency. So that's why I say I'm finna take more time for myself. More time to look inside, to create the reality I want to see. I don't give a fuck what they doing on the cool, cause they gonna catch a cosmic fade to that forehead regardless. That's my reality. Cosmic fade to that forehead. It's coming. It's gonna be here regardless. But I also realize I'm gonna control what I can control. Yeah, they all that shit they did, that's automatic cosmic fade. Automatic. They just trying to avoid the blow. So it's just like the cosmic fade coming. They just trying to avoid the blow with the karma stuff. They just like, oh, type it. It's coming regardless. they gotta catch that. But in the meantime, you could develop your own emotional processes, your visualization, your creativity, the joy in your life, the love. You can, what they call, vibrate high, and just change your wavelength so that the environment reflects what your internal electromagnetic field is producing to project a new image in your existence. So I want to project the image of, creativity, love, happiness, unison. We don't have to do all this extra shit they want us to do. Just being free. They're fighting to the end. They gonna do what they do. But to get to the creative point in this, to get to the joy and happiness, you don't have to wait to die to get to heaven, when you can develop heaven while you're here. You get what I'm saying? That's the concept. I mean, I don't want to have to wait to die to go to heaven. I'm in heaven wherever I stand. That's the difference, right? How can they tell you that you got gold and riches waiting for you when you die? Well, what you need material shit for when you on that side? Why would you need gold houses and 20 virgins and stuff on that side? That don't make sense. This is what I'm getting at. Some of the stuff they programmed into us is like to keep you enslaved. But nah, I'm questioning all that shit. Question that shit. Nah. Ain't no yes or massa type shit. The battle is within. Exactly. It's not with them. It's in. Once you settle the battle inside, then the outside battle don't even matter. I don't care what they doing. I'm gonna focus on this internal battle. Clear this internal battle, so no matter what, if a battlefield is happening, I can stand strong in the field. You know, if a battlefield is around you, if your environment is crazy, no matter where you stand, you in heaven. That's where I'm going. And don't have this thing called destination addiction. Well, if I go to this place, I'll feel better. If I have this sort of thing, I'll be my maximum potential. That's another thing we do. It's called destination addiction. Well, if I have this amount of money, I'll be in heaven. If I go to this country, I'll be in heaven. If I get this type of partner, I'll be in heaven. If I get this type of car, these type of clothes, this type of whatever it is, I'll be in heaven. You're in heaven now. Heaven inside. That way it can reflect outside. I get it. So when it's difficult too, because this is a difficult willpower realm. This is a lot of willpower. And especially when you've been in chaos for a long ass time. I'm not saying chaos doesn't have its purpose, by no means. But when you've been in that chaotic mind frame for so long, it changes your perspective, because it does bring things to the light as well. So I'm not saying chaos is bad. It's a necessary part in order to grow. The darkness and the chaos is beautiful. Just like the love and the light is beautiful. They each have their own characteristics that allow you to grow. And now we're reaching the point to where we're about to move to our next level. The distractions, exactly. Control the distractions, now allowing it to control you. I agree with that. So all this other stuff they doing, put that shit on the shelf and blow the shelf up. Right? So this is the key point in focusing on you right now and helping your community, or helping the people who helped you. I'm just do the best I can for my community and the people who fuck with me. The other beings who on that extra shit, y'all can keep the extra shit. That's just how I'm gonna see it from now on. Extra shit can go in the extra shit pile outside. The people who fuck with me and the people who are on my team and my spirit guides, higher selves, other extraterrestrials that's on my team that's cool with me, we cool. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm gonna see it. I'm just, it's time to let go. Let go of some shit. Look at the likes. 3.333 on the likes right now. Right in the corner. We in the right place. At the right time. All of y'all. We in the right place at the right time. Everybody. So, much. Yep, we're in 333 right now with the likes. So I know we in the right place. But I know I've been talking for a while. I just want to do this live with y'all. I thought this was something that a lot of people needed, especially with everything going on. Just do your best to focus on yourself and your community in the chaos. You know, if you want to be a part of the chaos too, you can do that. That's your choice. I'm going to just focus on what I can control and change my emotional patterns. Change the routine, change the habits so that you can produce a new result instead of the same old result. Nobody want to keep doing the same. That's the thing. Imagine running a hamster wheel for a million years. Over time, that shit would be so boring. On the cool. Now imagine the gods and the goddesses that been around for trillions of years watching. Some of them are bored and they want to do something different. Right? Same with you. Right? You've been doing this for so many resets and so many stuff. You want to do something different. And this is our time to make that change, to decide to do something different. I'm going to just do something different. That's it. I chose it. I visualize it. Harmony. We're going to see a beautiful mama, guys. She's going to talk to us again. Beautiful fruits. Clean environment. free energy, a grand reality. So we don't have to worry about this extra shit. All that other shit, they can keep it. They can keep it. And if we're to go somewhere else, cool. But if we're here to stay, cool too. I'm with shits. What I am ready for the unknown and whatever shall occur. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if y'all want to show support though, y'all can donate to my Cashapp or Venmo. It's in my bio, but it's Tradingninjaz. Ninjaz with a Z. Trading Ninjas. One word on Cashapp. On my YouTube, I have my PayPal. So if you go to my YouTube, VIA Energy Healing, my YouTube is in my bio, but it's also the same name as my profile. You can donate via PayPal, or you can donate via Venmo. My Venmo, like I said, my Venmo and Cash App is in the my bio, but I have a Telegram that has a wide variety of information that'll help you. And frequencies, YouTube, I have some solfeggio frequencies and a lot of different other tools that'll help you meditate, relax, and chill. I'm gonna go outside for a little bit and just chill with the trees for a little while, talk to the trees. So I'm gonna give me a little bit of outside time, because I gotta compress this information I took into, because this really helped me a lot. So I know this probably helped y'all a lot. And if you're studying something or reading something, just do it about 45 minutes and then take a 15-minute break and then another 45 minutes, because taking that 15-minute break allows your brain to process the information. So if you're in school or you know somebody who's studying for something, do 45 minutes or 40 minutes, 40-20, or 45-15. Take that little break. That way you can process the information and you can take in all this stuff and then let your brain, redirect the energy. But yeah, if y'all want to show support, like I said, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, go to my Telegram, YouTube. I got a website. I got merchandise. I have free ebooks. If you go to my YouTube, click my link tree, linktr.ee/voila me, and you can get a free ebook. It's free. Pretty much all my material is free. But if you want to show support, you can do it that way, or donate. Donating is easier. But if y'all want to show support. But anyway, I'm finna head off. I love y'all very much. Just contemplate on that information you took in today. Kaizen. Remember Kaizen. 1% a day. That's it. That's all you gotta do. 1%. 10 to 15 minutes on something new a day. That's all. You don't have to do more than that. 10 to 15 minutes. So we do that, we gonna be solid. Let's get this, baby. So let's make some small changes so we can be a new being. Do new experiences with the extra shit. Gratitude, Fetty, so much for all your insight. Danielle, all the people here, Kimberly, Keisha, gratitude to everybody, Ross, our guy, all y'all people. Finna head out. I'm gonna see if I can save this live, and then I'll try to put it on my YouTube. But I'll talk to y'all soon. I've been on for like 2-3 hours. I'm finna head out, y'all. I'll see y'all soon, man. Much love.